Every single morning, millions of people over 60 wake up with bodies that are quietly aging faster than they should. The mirror reveals deeper lines than yesterday. Joints crack with stiffness that was not there last year. Energy fades by mid-afternoon. Memory falters in moments that used to feel effortless. Most accept these changes as the unavoidable price of growing older. But what if the true engine of aging was not time itself, but invisible damage accumulating inside the DNA of every cell, hour after hour, day after day? And what if sitting in a small jar inside almost every kitchen in the world was a common golden spice with the proven power to repair that damage and slow the entire aging process at the deepest level science can measure? Recent groundbreaking research from the Anderson Cancer Center at the University of Texas, combined with landmark studies published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry and findings from the National Institutes of Health, has revealed something that overturns decades of assumptions about how the body ages. The DNA inside every cell, once thought to be a fixed blueprint, slowly degrading toward inevitable decline, can actually be protected, repaired, and even restored through specific compounds found in one particular spice that has been used in traditional kitchens for over 4,000 years. Dr. William Li, the internationally renowned physician and researcher, has spent years investigating how food functions as medicine at the cellular level, and his work points to a truth that the pharmaceutical industry has profoundly little incentive to share. Within just 72 hours of incorporating this spice into the daily routine, the body begins activating ancient cellular repair pathways that modern medicine is only beginning to understand. By day 14, markers of inflammation throughout the body shift in measurable ways. By the end of the first month, something extraordinary starts happening inside the nucleus of every cell that could be the difference between an aging body steadily breaking down and an aging body that retains vitality, clarity, and strength well into the 80s and beyond. But before revealing exactly which spice unlocks this remarkable cascade and the precise daily protocol that makes it work, there is something absolutely critical every viewer over 60 must understand about what is really happening inside their cells at this very moment. Welcome to the channel, and for anyone joining for the first time, this is a trusted source for evidence-based health discoveries, grounded in rigorous science, yet explained in language anyone can understand. Hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell ensures none of these life-changing discoveries get missed. A global community of health-conscious individuals is being built here, people who refuse to accept decline as inevitable, and everyone watching is warmly invited to drop their country in the comments below so this growing movement of natural healing can be tracked across the world. Here's what is really happening inside the body right now, in this very moment, as these words are being heard. Inside every single one of the roughly 37 trillion cells in the human body sits a tightly coiled bundle of genetic information called DNA. This DNA functions as the master blueprint directing everything the body does, from producing the enzymes that digest breakfast to manufacturing the immune cells that fight infection to building the collagen that keeps skin firm. Every second of every day, the cells are reading this blueprint billions of times to keep the body running smoothly. But here's the troubling reality almost no one talks about. That DNA is under constant assault. Every single day, the DNA in each cell sustains approximately 10,000 individual injuries. Some come from ultraviolet light passing through windows. Some come from environmental pollutants in the air. Some come from byproducts of normal metabolism, like the exhaust fumes produced by an engine running. And some come from the chronic low-grade inflammation that builds up silently in aging bodies. 10,000 hits to the genetic blueprint every single day in every single cell. In youth, the body possesses powerful repair crews that scan the DNA continuously, finding damaged sections, snipping them out, and patching them with fresh material. Think of these repair crews as the dedicated maintenance workers in a historic building, walking the hallways night and day, replacing worn flooring, repainting scratched walls, and fixing every small problem before it can grow into something serious. As long as those maintenance workers stay vigilant and well-supplied, the building stays beautiful and functional for centuries. But here is where aging changes everything. Around the age of 50, those cellular maintenance crews begin slowing down. By age 60, they are operating at roughly half their original speed. By age 70, damage starts accumulating faster than it can be repaired. The genetic blueprint develops small errors that propagate with every cell division. Mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside each cell, begin sputtering and producing less energy. Inflammation rises like rust spreading across exposed metal. And the visible signs of aging that everyone recognizes, the wrinkles, the slower healing, the diminished energy, the fading cognition, are actually the surface manifestations of this deep cellular crisis happening invisibly beneath the skin. Imagine a great medieval library containing the only existing copies of thousands of irreplaceable manuscripts. Every day, tiny insects nibble at the pages. Moisture seeps through the roof in places. Dust settles on the bindings. As long as the librarians actively repair the damage, the manuscripts survive intact, readable, and beautiful for generation after generation. But when the librarians grow tired and the repair work falls behind, the manuscripts begin deteriorating. Pages crumble, words become unreadable. The accumulated knowledge of centuries starts slipping away. This is precisely what happens inside aging cells when the DNA repair machinery loses its efficiency. The genetic library that defines who a person is at the cellular level begins decaying, and the consequences ripple outward into every aspect of how the body functions. Now, here is where the story takes a remarkable turn. Research published in the journal Cancer Research at the prestigious University of Texas Anderson Cancer Center examined the effects of a specific spice compound on human cells, and the results stunned the scientific community. This compound was shown to directly activate the DNA repair enzymes that normally slow with age, essentially waking up the sleepy maintenance crews and getting them back to vigorous work. A separate landmark study published in the journal Clinical Cancer Research demonstrated that this same compound reduced markers of genetic damage by over 50% in participants who consumed it consistently over a 30-day period. And perhaps most remarkably, research from the National Institutes of Health revealed that this compound also extended the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes called telomeres, which are widely considered one of the most reliable biological markers of cellular aging. So which common spice possesses this extraordinary power? The answer is turmeric, the bright golden orange spice that gives curry its distinctive color and has been used in Indian, Southeast Asian, and Middle Eastern cooking for at least 4,000 years. The active compound responsible for these remarkable effects is called curcumin, and modern science is only beginning to grasp the full scope of what this single molecule can accomplish inside the human body. But here is where most people go wrong with turmeric, and where this protocol fundamentally differs from casually sprinkling some yellow powder onto food. Curcumin, despite its incredible potential, has one significant problem. The body absorbs it extremely poorly when consumed alone. In its natural state, only a tiny fraction of the curcumin in turmeric actually makes it into the bloodstream where it can reach the cells that need it. This is precisely why so many people have tried turmeric and noticed nothing, dismissing it as another overhyped health fad. They were using the right ingredient in entirely the wrong way. Here is what is really happening inside the body with the proper preparation. When curcumin is combined with two specific partners, its absorption increases by as much as 2,000%. The first partner is healthy fat, because curcumin is fat-soluble and requires lipids to be ferried across cell membranes. The second partner is a compound called piperine, found in black pepper, which inhibits a liver enzyme that would otherwise break down curcumin before it reaches the tissues that need it. Combining turmeric with healthy fat and a small amount of black pepper transforms it from a mildly useful kitchen ingredient into a powerful cellular medicine. Once properly absorbed, curcumin begins working through multiple pathways simultaneously. It activates a master gene regulator called NRF2, which acts like the foreman of a construction crew, directing dozens of repair and protection processes throughout the cell. Think of NRF2 as a powerful supervisor who walks into a slowing factory, claps his hands loudly, and gets every machine running at full capacity again. When NRF2 activates, it triggers the production of the body's most important internal antioxidant called glutathione, ramps up DNA repair enzymes, stimulates the removal of damaged cellular components through a process called autophagy, and reduces the chronic inflammation that drives accelerated aging. The clinical research is genuinely remarkable. A study from the University of California, Los Angeles followed adults aged 50 to 90 who took a curcumin preparation daily for 18 months. Compared to those taking placebo, the curcumin group showed significant improvements in memory tests, better mood scores, and most strikingly, reduced accumulation of amyloid plaques and tau tangles in brain regions associated with Alzheimer's disease. The researchers observed these brain changes through advanced imaging, providing objective evidence that curcumin was actively protecting neural tissue at the molecular level. Another landmark trial published in the Journal of the American Medical Association examined patients with metabolic syndrome who consumed curcumin daily for 12 weeks. The results demonstrated reduced inflammatory markers throughout the body, improved insulin sensitivity, decreased oxidative stress, and measurable improvements in blood vessel function. The arteries themselves became more responsive and elastic, a phenomenon previously thought to be largely irreversible after middle age. Now, here is where this story becomes truly fascinating, and if this information is proving valuable so far, please consider hitting that like button. It signals to YouTube to share this knowledge with other seniors who desperately need it. The way curcumin protects DNA is genuinely one of the most elegant biological processes ever discovered. When DNA sustains damage from environmental stressors, specialized proteins detect the injury and tag it for repair. Curcumin enhances the activity of these detection proteins, ensuring that damage gets identified rather than overlooked. It then stimulates the repair enzymes that snip out the damaged section and patch it with fresh nucleotides. Finally, it boosts the production of antioxidants that prevent additional damage from occurring while repair is underway. Imagine a busy hospital emergency room. Without enough doctors, nurses, and equipment, injured patients arrive faster than they can be treated, and conditions deteriorate. Curcumin essentially recruits more medical staff, restocks supplies, and improves the efficiency of every team in the emergency room. The damage still arrives because life inevitably involves cellular stress, but the body can now handle it efficiently rather than falling behind. Over weeks and months of consistent intake, the accumulated repair work transforms the overall condition of the genetic library, leaving manuscripts intact that would otherwise have crumbled into illegibility. The precise daily protocol calls for exactly 1 teaspoon of high-quality organic turmeric powder, approximately 3 grams, consumed once daily in a specific preparation that maximizes absorption and bioactive effects. The preparation method matters enormously and should not be taken lightly. Begin by warming 3/4 of a cup of organic whole milk or unsweetened coconut milk in a small saucepan over low heat. Coconut milk works particularly well because its medium-chain triglycerides further enhance curcumin absorption while providing a creamy, satisfying texture. As the milk warms, whisk in the full teaspoon of turmeric powder along with 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. This specific quantity of black pepper provides enough piperine to dramatically enhance curcumin bioavailability without overpowering the flavor of the drink. Continue whisking gently as the mixture warms, never allowing it to boil until it becomes smooth and uniformly golden. The heat helps release the curcumin from the spice particles and allows it to bind effectively with the fats in the milk. Just before removing from heat, add 1/2 teaspoon of organic coconut oil or grass-fed ghee, which provides additional healthy fat to optimize absorption. For taste, a small amount of raw honey or a sprinkle of cinnamon can be added once the mixture has cooled slightly, though sweeteners are entirely optional and should be minimized. The timing of consumption is absolutely critical and not arbitrary. This preparation should be consumed approximately 1 hour before bedtime on a relatively empty stomach. The reasoning here connects to one of the most important discoveries in modern biology. During the first 3 hours of deep sleep, the body enters its most intensive repair cycles. Growth hormone surges, autophagy ramps up, and DNA repair activity reaches its peak intensity. By consuming the curcumin preparation before this window, the bioactive compounds become available exactly when the body's cellular repair machinery is operating at full capacity, dramatically amplifying their effects. Consider the story of Eleanor, a 76-year-old retired librarian from Asheville, North Carolina, who had been struggling with multiple manifestations of accelerated aging for nearly a decade. Her joints ached constantly. Her energy disappeared by early afternoon. Her once sharp memory had grown frustratingly slow, leaving her searching for common words mid-conversation. Her ophthalmologist had noted accelerated changes in her retinal tissue. Her primary care physician had documented rising inflammatory markers on routine blood work, along with concerning trends in blood sugar and cholesterol. Eleanor had been prescribed multiple medications, each addressing one symptom while doing nothing to address the underlying cellular crisis driving all of them simultaneously. When Eleanor learned about the nightly turmeric protocol, she initially felt skeptical. How could a simple kitchen spice accomplish what powerful medications had only partially controlled? But she committed to 6 months of consistent nightly consumption, preparing the golden milk preparation exactly as described, taking it 1 hour before bed every single evening without exception. She maintained all her prescribed medications without adjustment and continued her regular medical appointments. She kept a simple journal noting her energy levels, joint comfort, sleep quality, and cognitive clarity. By month 3, Eleanor noticed her morning joint stiffness had diminished substantially. She could grip a coffee cup without the dull ache that had become her unwelcome companion. By month 4, her afternoon energy had returned to levels she had not experienced in years. She found herself spontaneously suggesting evening walks with her husband, something she had abandoned years earlier. By month 6, Eleanor returned for her quarterly physical. Her inflammatory markers had dropped substantially. Her blood sugar measurements had improved. Her physician asked what she had changed. Eleanor described her nightly golden milk ritual, and her doctor, rather than dismissing it, noted that the changes were objectively measurable and consistent with emerging research on curcumin. But the change that mattered most to Eleanor was not on any laboratory report. She told her family that she had finally regained the mental sharpness to once again read complex novels in the evenings, follow intricate plots, and discuss them with her book club without straining for words. She had reclaimed the cognitive vitality that had defined her professional life, and along with it, a sense of dignity and possibility that no medication had been able to restore. Important safety considerations deserve careful attention before beginning this protocol. Anyone taking blood-thinning medications such as warfarin, clopidogrel, or aspirin therapy should consult their physician before starting daily turmeric, because curcumin has mild anticoagulant properties that can potentiate these medications. Individuals with gallbladder disease or gallstones should avoid high-dose turmeric, as it stimulates bile production and could trigger painful episodes. Those scheduled for surgery should discontinue concentrated turmeric at least 2 weeks before any procedure. Patients with iron deficiency anemia should discuss timing with their physician, since curcumin can mildly inhibit iron absorption if consumed alongside iron-rich meals. And anyone with diagnosed kidney stones, particularly oxalate stones, should approach turmeric with care because it contains moderate amounts of oxalates. Pregnant or nursing women should not consume concentrated turmeric preparations without medical guidance. Individuals on diabetes medications should monitor blood sugar closely when beginning the protocol, as curcumin can enhance the effects of these medications. And anyone with active gastrointestinal ulcers should introduce turmeric gradually, as it can occasionally cause stomach discomfort in sensitive individuals when consumed in larger amounts. Critically, this nutritional approach is intended to complement, never replace, prescribed medical treatments for any diagnosed conditions. The nightly turmeric protocol works alongside conventional care to provide the cellular machinery with the activating compounds it needs to maintain optimal function. Anyone experiencing concerning symptoms should seek appropriate medical evaluation rather than rely on nutritional intervention alone. Here is the practical takeaway every viewer can implement starting tonight. Purchase high-quality organic turmeric powder from a trusted source, ideally one that lists its curcumin content on the label. Fresh turmeric root, when available, provides even more bioactive compounds and can be grated directly into the preparation, with approximately 1.5 inches of fresh root equivalent to 1 teaspoon of powder. Keep the turmeric in an airtight container away from light and heat to preserve its potency, and replace stored powder every 6 months to ensure freshness. Each evening, prepare the golden milk preparation with care and intention. Use organic whole milk, unsweetened coconut milk, or a quality unsweetened almond milk if dairy must be avoided. Always include the freshly ground black pepper in the proper quantity, never omit it, because this single ingredient transforms the bioavailability of the entire preparation. Add the healthy fat in the form of coconut oil or ghee to optimize absorption. Consume 1 hour before bed, on a relatively empty stomach, sipping slowly and giving the body time to absorb the compounds before sleep. Maintain this routine consistently for a minimum of 90 days before evaluating effects, though many viewers report subtle improvements within the first 2 to 3 weeks. Track progress through a simple journal documenting energy levels, joint comfort, sleep quality, mental clarity, and any other relevant markers. Consider periodic laboratory work through a physician to objectively measure inflammatory markers and other indicators of cellular health. Be patient with the process because the cellular repair work happening invisibly takes time to translate into measurable outcomes at the level of daily experience. Imagine the life waiting on the other side of this simple nightly practice. Picture waking up in the morning with joints that move smoothly, with energy that carries through the entire day, with mental clarity that allows engagement with complex ideas and conversations. Picture skin that retains its firmness longer than expected, healing that occurs more rapidly when small injuries happen, and immune function that resists the colds and infections that otherwise sweep through every winter. Picture stepping into the 8th and 9th decades of life with vitality that surprises everyone, including the physicians who have watched the trajectory of aging slow rather than accelerate. This is not fantasy. This is the documented potential of providing the body's cellular machinery with the specific bioactive compounds it requires to maintain DNA integrity, repair accumulated damage, and resist the chronic inflammation that drives premature aging. One golden spice, properly prepared, consumed at the right time of day, represents one of the most accessible, affordable, and rigorously researched interventions available to anyone determined to age with strength, clarity, and dignity. Across cultures and continents, the people who consistently demonstrate the longest healthy lifespans, the populations studied as blue zones, share certain dietary patterns that researchers have analyzed in tremendous detail. Among these patterns, the regular consumption of anti-inflammatory spices prepared in traditional ways that maximize bioavailability appears repeatedly. In Okinawa, in Sardinia, in the Nicoya Peninsula, the kitchen wisdom of grandmothers spanning generations has unknowingly delivered the very compounds modern science now identifies as essential for cellular longevity. Turmeric, prepared in the traditional way with fat and pepper, sits at the heart of this ancient wisdom, now finally validated by rigorous clinical research from institutions like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the National Institutes of Health. If this video has opened eyes to information that may never have been mentioned in any doctor's office, kindly type yes in the comments below. That single action takes 1 second, yet sends a powerful signal to YouTube to share this knowledge with other seniors who desperately need it. Please consider hitting the like button, sharing this video with family members and friends who could benefit from this information, and subscribing to this channel so no future health discoveries get missed. Together, this growing global community is building a movement of individuals who refuse to accept preventable decline as inevitable, who take responsibility for their own health through accessible natural means, and who restore not just function, but dignity and vitality as they age. The body is not destined for inevitable rapid decline. The cellular machinery responds to proper support with renewed function and resilience. 1 teaspoon of turmeric, properly prepared, consumed nightly, may be the simplest yet most profound investment in healthy aging that any senior can make. Starting tonight, the journey toward repaired DNA, calmed inflammation, and slowed cellular aging begins in the kitchen with a small pot of warm golden milk, a pinch of black pepper, and the quiet determination to protect the genetic library that defines who each person is at the deepest level. The science is clear. The protocol is simple. The ingredients are inexpensive and available in virtually every grocery store. And the potential, supported by decades of rigorous research from the world's most respected medical institutions, is genuinely extraordinary. Tonight, before bed, the choice to begin is available to everyone watching. 3 grams of golden powder, properly prepared, taken consistently for 90 days, may transform not just how the body ages, but how life itself feels in the years and decades ahead.